Hey, good afternoon or good morning, depending on where you're listening from. This is Chris Jackson with Skuid. We're right at 1 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to give those joining about 2 more minutes, so we'll start at 2 after. But welcome, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Thanks. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and get started here today. First, let me just say thanks to everybody who is attending and listening. If you're listening live, awesome, thank you very much. We'll also have this available as a recording afterwards. So either way, thanks for your time. This is Chris Jackson speaking. I've got someone else joining me. We'll do intros here in just a moment, but this is a Skuid Partner Dive, part of our Partner Enablement series. Today, very excited to be talking about portals and communities and why Skuid is such a powerful platform for those use cases. So we hope today that you sort of step away knowing a couple of sort of powerful bullets on why Skuid is so effective for community use cases and how it can not just help customers with their community portal use cases, but also help you as a partner as you address and tackle those use cases. All right, so let's jump right in. So the Skuid team on the call today, you've got myself, Chris Jackson speaking, partner manager here based in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'll be walking through just a couple of slides before I pass it over to Allen Rendel. Allen, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. I'm Allen Rendel. I'm a pre-sales solutions engineer with Skuid, working with Chris and helping cover the demo today.
Excellent, thank you, Allen. And so we're going to jump right in. Agenda today, just a few slides again. We want to primarily stay in the product in these enablement webinars, so we will get there very shortly. Just wanted to do a quick overview on the use case, highlight some things about Skuid, why we feel that Skuid is a good use case, and then go through some demonstrations, both demos that we have in our demo environment that you have access to as a partner, but then also some live community use cases in portals. We'll also highlight on some tools and resources you can leverage as a partner as it pertains to this use case, and then we will also have some time for questions and answers at the end. So perfect. So the first thing I wanted to do, if you've seen a Skuid presentation or been a partner very long, you might have seen this slide. And so we are a design-first platform, right? And so the reason I bring this slide into this presentation is that this use case of communities and portals aligns very, very well with just our message as a platform, right? A very design-focused, creating humanized apps, user-centric processes. These are all things that are imperative in a community in a portal, right? This is a use case for external customers, right? There's no situation where like an internal use case where your users have to use the system, right? Your customers don't have to use it, right? So it's imperative that communities have an absolute just incredible user experience, and so that's what we do, and right, and being able to do that without having to write code, there's several benefits there, both to the partner and to the customer, and we'll get into that. And so some of you as a partner might have seen this slide before or seen this phrase, but this is sort of why we get up in the morning as a company. Our goal is to create apps that allow customers to thrive, right? We don't want software to be something that users have to overcome. It should be an advantage for them. And again, this, why we exist, this is straight off of our Skuid message map. This aligns very, very well with this use case, right? A portal should allow a customer, a partner, an employee to thrive and do their job more effectively, right? The apps like Spotify and Facebook, they don't require training. They're easy to use. That's why you start using them without even thinking about it, right? We want to create communities and portals that are the same exact way. So getting in more to the use case. So communities and portals, as you know, Skuid exists on Force.com as well as AWS, and we'll show you examples of both of those. But specifically, some of the sub use cases within these communities and portals that we see a lot of, and some of these you'll see today in the demo. But partner and channels, good example of that is Informatica, who's a customer of ours. They have a partner portal built on Skuid. They were able to build it in 8 weeks. Really, really good for enabling partner and channel sales. So being able to expose, user data, enablement materials, numbers, how they're performing, how much business they've closed. All that's a great fit for us. The intranet, enablement, customer support, self-service. One that I don't have listed on here that I'll just share a really short story. We're seeing an uptick in use cases that are almost more like e-commerce, where there needs to be more of a shopping cart experience in a portal. We had a partner build something out for an enterprise customer in the Southeast that was in a community portal, and essentially they were using Salesforce CPQ to do a product selection for a checkout type of scenario for their partners, but they really wanted the process to look like another process on their website. So the buttons, sort of the way you select things, needed to be a very specific way. So they used Skuid on top of Salesforce CPQ and communities to build out the exact look and feel they needed to achieve for their partners, so that there was no drop-off in experience from their website. So this isn't every single use case that we work with in communities, but these are the ones we see the most volume. And I would say one thing that's consistent, these all require really strict design requirements, really strict user experience requirements, and almost all of these are leveraging multiple systems, where you have Salesforce or you have SharePoint or Microsoft. All of that data needs to come into a portal and make sense for the user. So that's kind of the common theme across all of these. And so with communities and portals, I kind of want to, with this slide, just take a second, and then after this, we'll jump into the demo. But the purpose of this slide is, there's 8 different bullets here, and I think there's some that if you've been a partner of Skuid a while, you could probably even add to this. But my goal here is that there's 1 or 2 of these that you can kind of take away that could be something that could strengthen your message or your value prop when talking to customers about portals and communities. But each of these are on here for a reason. And so just starting with the self-service on any device, right? This is what customers and partners want to be able to do. They want to be able to access their data that's relevant to them, but they don't want to be told what kind of device to do it on. They want to choose the device that they want to work on. And so leveraging Skuid, you're able to build things in a responsive way, and to do it declaratively, but making that user experience the same, whether they're on a laptop computer, their mobile phone, or an iPad, and letting the customer choose or the portal user choose how they want to consume that portal. Really strong fit for us. Within our product, we have tons of different configurable settings that can, things from, I want this to be enacted by a click or a swipe or a push, or when this is on a phone, I want this table to be a card. There's tons of things you can do within Skuid to make that transition from desktop to mobile really, really intuitive to give the users the right experience regardless of the device. Personalizing the user experience. What I mean by that is you're going to have different types of users come into a portal. Some of those experiences need to be dynamic based on the type of user. You may have a certain type of partner, then you may have the same portal that's for a customer. So maybe based on user type, the portal needs to render a little differently. Or you may have things where I want the user to come in and be able to make some changes to their settings or to their experience, and I want the portal to remember those changes when they come back in. Right, that's a really strong fit for Skuid because we're not using code to build out these applications. There is the ability to make these kind of changes within a portal use case. So simplifying processes and speeding up those processes. This kind of connects with some other bullets. So we'll talk about simplifying, speeding up processes, and unifying the user experience together. So one thing we do really well, if you know Skuid, you've seen this, is that we're really good at reducing the number of clicks, reducing the number of tabs in applications, whether it be for a group of sales users or in a portal like we're talking about here. But essentially, within Skuid, we have this concept of models, right? And models give you the ability to basically say, we don't really care what the paradigm is in the system, right? Like Salesforce, for example, has this structure that's very list detail oriented. And we as Salesforce users understand that and can sort of navigate down the path, even though sometimes it's frustrating. But with Skuid, you're able to sort of say, regardless of that paradigm, what does this customer, what does this portal user need to see on the screen? We don't have to operate in that list detail orientation, because if you create a portal and it's confusing, or the path they need to go on to find their data is not intuitive, they're just not going to use it. And so the concept of models, just one of our sort of core foundational elements within Skuid, is such an advantage when building in communities to create this concept of a single page application or a single page experience so that a user can navigate, find the data, take action on it all within one screen. And that's what customers are going to be expecting when they come into this portal. So most communities and portals that have high custom design requirements or company branding is critical, those are really good keys to think about Skuid for, because Skuid takes a lot of the low value coding out of the picture so that you can do most everything declaratively by point and click and configuration instead of custom code. This gives you more time during an engagement to focus on the design elements and the user experience. And so Skuid, within our product and our platform, we have a lot of things to enable design and to make that much more efficient. So within our theme composer, you can match the customer's colors and fonts so that anything you build look and feel like the customer's website. So you're not having to do that every single time. And so highly custom company branding, really strong fits for what our platform does just out of the box. Connecting data, if you've been a partner, you know that's one of our capabilities and something that we continue to innovate on and throw new features in around how many data sources you can connect to, but then also the functionality within those data source connections. This one's huge because when you think about even just Salesforce, right, it has some paradigms in how you navigate and find data. Being able to simplify that for a user is one thing. Being able to simplify Salesforce, SAP, SharePoint, homegrown system number one, homegrown system number two, being able to take all that data and put it into a unified, simple experience for a partner is huge, or a customer. And so our ability to connect to data for this use case to me is very, very valuable. And then finally here, the ability with Skuid, because we are declarative and we're code-free, being able to make iterations on applications that you've created and enabling your customers to make iterations is a huge value prop of why choosing Skuid for a community. So I would imagine that a customer rolling out a community is probably not going to stay with what they roll out on day one. They're going to make iterations in the future, and they may want to roll out new functionality and features to their partners or customers. And so by having it built on Skuid, you're giving them the ability to do that very, very quickly and stay ahead of the business challenges and be proactive instead of reactive. So our ability to iterate to me is a very, very valuable sort of case for using Skuid for communities. And so some of these will be touched on as we move into the demo, which we'll now transition to. And Alan, I will make you presenter. But again, think about those bullets. And there may be some other reasons that you would select Skuid for a community, but I think those are some really strong points that we see almost all of the community use cases that we've run across. Alan, do you have access there?
Yep. Everybody should be seeing my screen right about now. So I'm going to start here. This is actually our Skuid demo library. We're going to kind of circle back a little bit later and talk more in depth about resources that are available to our partners, but this is just to kind of give you a quick preview of one of them. This is the library of demos that we use to demo Skuid to our direct clients, and also that our partners use to demo it to people they're working with. And I'd just like to start here because it gives some idea of sort of the depth and breadth of the things that we do at Skuid and the different looks and feels you can have, the different types of applications and data that can be brought in. So we're going to go through a couple community portals in depth, but I want to just make sure right up front everyone knows that what we're going to go through in detail today is not everything you can do. You're not forced into these particular templates we're going to look at, anything like that. You really, with Skuid, you're sort of, it's like buying a box of Legos. You can build whatever you can imagine with it. So the first example we'll look at is a higher ed example. So this is a community built for higher education. This is, again, off that demo site we were just looking at. And there's a couple different views into this one. This first page we're looking at is what a student would see when they're logged into this portal. So this Clara Witherby here at the top of the page, that's a student ID. And when a student logs in, they would see the information relevant to them. You see over here in the upper right, they've got an immediate kind of snapshot into their progress towards graduation. There's some notifications pushed out to them from the kind of back-end admin portal of whoever's running this. And incidentally, that can be customized or put in dynamically, these notifications, based on the type of student or the level of student. So for example, someone who's enrolled as a freshman might be getting information about dorm life, about being away from home for the first time, about how to register for classes, things that a new student would need to know. Whereas someone who's closer to graduation, a senior, might be getting notices up here with links to information about like how to prepare a resume, what time graduation is going to be, how to register for it, where to get caps and gowns, things like that. So further on down the page, there's information about the courses that this student is enrolled in, and you can see that they can see at a glance sort of what the dates are for the course, what the terms are, course names, etc. And they can click on any of these then to get more detailed information about what that course is. And here's the assignments in the course. If there's any absences marked down for the student from the course, they'd see that up here. And then they've also got an opportunity here to schedule a one-on-one with their instructor. So if they need some additional information, if they need to review some of this grade information that's here on this page, they can reach out and do that. So that's the student piece of this. The other view into this is the instructor view. So this persona we're looking at here, Lillian Doss, this is an instructor, and you can see that the notices for the instructors are different than what the student had. So there's things about when midterm grades are due, you know, how to get parking passes, etc. This instructor has a link, or I'm sorry, a calendar that shows their schedule on it, notifications they need to have there, if there's any tasks associated with them, courses that are coming up. And so most of this, if not all of it, is just built on Salesforce data. And it's just using a Salesforce community, but reskinning it to present something to, you know, to these users that they're going to need. And then this last link here is actually a teacher's view of the different courses they're teaching, and they can get information about like the grade spreads, the different assignments. They can add resources and curriculum material down here. They can add assignments to their courses. So it's kind of tying in with what Chris was talking about earlier, presenting the end user with everything they need in one place, kind of a single pane of glass to do their job, and making things very easy for them where they can see the high level information, and if they need to drill into anything deeper, they've always got the ability somewhere to kind of expand the information, to go in deeper, to take the actions they need to take with that data. Another example, getting out of the higher ed space, is a Lightning community for more of a sales application. So this is the front page, and the idea here is for sales partners to come in. So I'm a sales partner rep here. I can see in the upper right who I'm logged in as, and this first page presents me with this high-level information of, what's my revenue, what's my commission to date, what kind of cases are open for my customers. And then this chart down here at the bottom is interesting because the black line, this is the pipeline data. So this is opportunity data coming out of Salesforce. And then the blue bars are previously billed account data. So that's from an outside ERP system. I think in this example, it's SAP. And so these are all Skuid components in the center part of the page. But over here on the right, you can also see some standard Lightning components. So there's opportunities listing, the chatter feed. There's some standard Lightning things here, and it's just to give you a view into the idea that Skuid and Lightning, the components can be intermixed on the same page. So if you've got favorite Lightning components, standard out-of-the-box Lightning components that you like, you can intermix them with the Skuid components on the same page. And the components are all intelligent enough that they will speak to each other. They'll keep each other up to date as things on the page change. And then I think the other kind of big point on this page is that you can mix that Salesforce data, multiple Salesforce objects on the same page or in the same chart, but also multiple Salesforce orgs. You can use Skuid pages to bridge the data from multiple orgs. And then, as in this example, data from outside Salesforce can be brought in as well. So Skuid can help enable you to use all those disparate data sources together. And one of the things we do by default is respect the permission sets on all those different data sources. So if there's data that is not made available to me as a user in Salesforce and I'm logging into a Skuid page, those same rules are going to apply to me. I'm not going to be able to kind of get around the security or the permissions that you already set up in your data. So some more things here. There's the ability for me as a partner to come in and submit an RFI. And what you'll see here is that the content on this page is going to change dynamically based on how I interact with it. So if I choose that I'm going to set up an RFI for an existing account and hit that button, I'm going to get this opportunity to select an account. Whereas if I had chosen new account, it would then ask me to enter the new account information. And then you'll also see that basically it's going to kind of help walk me through this request step by step. I've always got this view along the top of the page where I am in making the request. And this can, you give people the drop downs, you highlight the required information by putting boxes in red. And this can help drive your business processes and make sure that the data you're getting in is clear as well. And then I've got the opportunity here to upload a file. So once I've submitted that RFI, I've also got a space here to track where my RFIs are, see where they are in the process. And again, this is expandable information. I can go in here and look at this. I can edit it if I need to. And then I've also got an account space where I can get some high-level metrics on the accounts as a partner that I'm in charge of. And I can see, again, these KPI tiles that highlight to me the very high-level information I need. I've got charts here. I can click on this chart and actually see the data that contributes to it. And again, everything's editable here. So all the data we're working with is read-writable as long as you, when you build the app in Skuid, want to give the users the ability to do that. Some other things built into this community portal, a view into commissions. So for partners, that's always really important, right? So I'm seeing, where I am on my commissions. I'm seeing the timeline of that. I, again, have the details down below here. I can do some filtering. I can search for specific things. And in this case, there's like a club program going on, and I can see where I am in my achievement towards that. And then there's a space for me to make marketing requests as well. So there's a whole bunch of marketing materials available to me. And again, based on this filter that I apply, I can drill down in and find the specific things I need to, and I can submit the request here, and it's going to ask me for the information that's needed. It's going to highlight the required fields in red. It's going to make it much, much easier for me to kind of go through and do the things I need to do. A lot of times with partners, or community members, as Chris was saying earlier, this is outward-facing portals, and so they might be touching many of these a day. Maybe they're not on yours that often, so it's good to be able to kind of build that consumer experience where they don't need training on it. They don't need to remember how to do things. It's all very self-evident as they go through here. And then the other thing that's tied in here is case management. So this is also tied into the case management, and as a partner, I can go in and see if there are cases open with my particular clients, and then I can go in and see the details of those cases as well. And so again, the information is available to me as I want to see it. I can get as much or as little detail as I need, and everywhere I go, I've got the ability to kind of go deeper on that data and interact with it more if I want to. So how does all this get put together, I think is the next question. And I'm going to try not to get too technical, but just a little bit of information for you. This is the Skuid app composer. This is where the Skuid pieces of any of these community portals or partner pages get put together. And you see here, if you're not familiar with it, in the upper left is where all the Skuid drag and drop components sit. And so any of these that I want to add, I can just grab from here. I can drag them onto the page and place them where I need them. And then they're going to show up there, and using the properties up here, I can start customizing them. I can start putting it together the way I want to. Once that's published out, just the Skuid piece is going to look like this. So that's nice. There's some good things on here, but really this is just going to function as one component of the ultimate page that I'm building. So if I go over into the Lightning Community Builder, you can see that I'm using one of the Lightning Community templates here. I've got some of the kind of standard components here set up, and the Skuid component just shows up here on my list of components when I'm building the page. If I go all the way down to where the custom components live, that's where the Skuid page gets added. So I've just dragged it in here. It's already set up here as this one region of the page. And again, it's just integrated with all the Lightning pieces. And if I want to preview this, I can see what that final page is going to look like. Incidentally, I do not recommend that you use my color scheme that I've got here. This was just done for entertainment purposes. But you can see that all the Skuid capabilities are here, some things that are hard to do natively in Lightning, and that Skuid page that we assembled kind of sits in here and works as like a Lightning super component. So all the Skuid pieces can be put together. You can actually build multiple Skuid pages and drop them in different places on the Lightning page. There's a lot you can do here in working with Lightning. And I should probably note that though this example is in Lightning communities, Skuid is also fully compatible with Salesforce Classic. So anything you build in Skuid is automatically compatible with both. And if you're looking at that journey from Salesforce Classic to Lightning, you can build things in Skuid today. When you get to where you're moving over to Lightning, all you've got to do is embed the Skuid stuff into your Lightning. You don't have to redesign or redeploy or change what was built in Skuid to get it compatible. Now, I mentioned outside data sources that we can bring in. That example we looked at a minute ago used SAP's ERP system as a data source. So in the event that someone is not using Salesforce, We can also work with them. Skuid is fully functional outside of Salesforce using other data sources, whether it's SAP, Oracle, Box, Marketo, et cetera. We've got pre-configured data connectors into, I think there's 45 of them now built out, a whole bunch of different data sources. And we can also hook up to anything that's got a REST API or is OData accessible. So those are kind of some demo examples, but maybe some real life examples would help as well, just to kind of show you things that people have done with Skuid in the field. So this is the National Christian Foundation. They're one of our clients, and this is their website. You can see, one thing I think is cool about this is that they've actually got a screenshot down here on their website of the Skuid app. So they're showing that it's both both computer and mobile compatible. And if we want to go log into this, we can do it up here. And now I've sort of technically left their website and I'm into the Skuid site, but it's so tightly integrated with the look and feel. Everything looks so much like their website that you're not even necessarily aware that you've done that. And you can see they've really styled this to follow the look and feel of their own site, so that for the end users, it's really a transparent experience. They don't really know where these pages are sitting. They don't know where the data is going. They don't care. They just want to be able to use this and have the experience and the look and feel and the branding be consistent with the main National Christian Foundation website. So all these pages here relating to contribution of funds, this is all part of the Skuid community portal that is built out. Another example is Crown Commercial Services. This is a company based out of the UK, and they've got us integrated with their website as well, to the point where when you look at the site, it's actually kind of hard to tell which pieces are standard to their website and which are the Skuid pieces. But one thing I know for a fact is this table here is a Skuid component, and I believe these filters over here on the side are as well. And so again, this is just kind of illustrative of the fact that whatever you want to imagine, you can build with Skuid, and you can integrate it into your clients' sites and really deeply mirror the look and feel of it, so that it's transparent to the end users. They don't know which pieces come from Skuid and which are the standard website, and the end user, obviously, they're not even going to care. Okay, so going back to resources that are available for Skuid partners. So I touched earlier a little bit on the Skuid demo library. I know Chris has got some other stuff he's going to show you in a minute, but this is a great resource for our partners who want to demonstrate things that have been done in Skuid. There's a lot of different use cases out here. There's a lot of different look and feels available here. If you haven't been given access to this yet, please let us know. We can get you set up so that you can log in and use this site. And there's a couple other things that we'll cover real quickly. In addition to access to the site, you'll get your own Skuid account where you can build things. You can set up POCs if you need to for clients you're selling to. One thing I want to show you that you can do with a Skuid page is if you find one of these demos that you really like, this is our sort of general demo site. So we ask that people not go in and change what's in these particular demos. But what you can do from any one of these pages is you'll see that there's this edit page capability here. And you can open that page up. You can see it in the Skuid app composer. And if you want to use some of what's in this page, but make maybe more of a customized demo for one of your clients, you can actually go up in the upper right here where it says more page actions, and you can clone these pages. And you can do something like put your name on the end of it so that we know who it belongs to. You can create a clone of it, and then you can go in and start editing this page, whether it's changing the color scheme, changing the layout, changing functionality, maybe dropping in your client's logos or something instead of the generic ones we've got set up with here. You can do all that here within the Skuid demo org and customize these demos for your selling purposes, for your clients. And whether you want to do that with whole pages like this, or a thing I do a lot of time is I go in and look through the demo org and find functionality that I like, and then I'll just go in and zero in on that component. Maybe I like that chart, and I'll start looking at what the properties are, looking at how it was set up, and then in my own demo page that I'm building, I'll just start kind of copying these settings. So that's a thing you can do as well. Another thing you can do if you want to copy, say, whole pages from the Skuid demo org into your org is from every one of these pages in the app composer, at the very bottom of the page, there's this little gray button that says View Edit XML. This lets you get into the XML behind the page. This is the ultimate output of the Skuid app composer. We again ask you not to edit what's in our demo org since so many people are using it. We want to keep it consistent and keep it the same. But you can come in here and actually just highlight all this XML and copy whole pages out of the demo org and either paste them into new pages in our demo org that you can customize from, or paste them into other orgs. So as a Skuid partner, you'll be set up with your own Skuid org where you can build things out for yourself to get practice, or for your clients to build POCs. So all this could be copied and pasted right into your org, and then you'd have a page straight out of the Skuid demo org that you can work with and change things around on as you see fit. And if you want more details about how to do this, please reach out to us. This is something that Chris, probably we could provide people some specific training on if they want. I just wanted to kind of show them real quick how to do something like this.
Absolutely. Perfect.
Okay. So I think that's what I had to cover, Chris. Anything else you think people need to see or you want to mention here?
No, I think that was really, really helpful. But I did want to say that we're approaching a time where we're going to do some Q&A, and Alan, I've gotten a few questions that I'll just save for the end.
Okay.
But some good questions have been coming up. But no, thank you for the demo. I think it was pretty helpful, and I know it scratched the surface on the many use cases for communities and portals, and also some of the the value of how Skuid can help accelerate those build outs. But thank you for the demo. So just really quick, while we're on the subject of portals, the last sort of example we wanted to show is the Skuid Partner Portal. And so here is the live partner portal. I'm in as a test partner right now, but this is a portal site built on Skuid on AWS that our partners get access to as a official Skuid partner. So we'll in a minute make sure that everybody has access, but just wanted to kind of highlight the way we're using Skuid for our own portal use case. And there's also more functionality that's being roadmapped to come into this portal. But essentially, one of the highlights was that we wanted it to feel like Skuid, but we also wanted it to have its own sort of look and feel, to be a little different. We didn't want you to feel like you were on Skuid's website, but we still wanted you to feel like you were a part of the Skuid sort of design flow. So that's why it's a little bit different, a little bit darker blue. But in this portal, I'll just highlight what's here right now. So essentially, we've got deal registration. So in the past for us, just our own use case, partners, whenever they had a potential deal, they had to send us an email, right? And so that not being a very scalable, smooth experience, we built out deal registration here. And so this does just walk you through our wizard component with some field editors so that you can follow the steps to submit a deal. And then what's nice is that for every front end feature of our partner portal, there's a back end partner management feature for myself. And so I won't show you the back end, but it's just important to know that most community portals are going to have several sort of angles or several types of users that may need to be coming into the portal to do different things. And so partners can submit deals on this side. They can then manage those deals from another screen. and see the status of those deals here. And then what's nice is that on my side, I can go in and check and see automatically, is there a duplicate for this deal? Has that account been created in CRM? All that stuff can be handled very intuitively on my side as well. Similar process for joint marketing opportunities for partners that want to do co-sponsored webinars, co-sponsored events, happy hours, whatever it may be. A similar process there to be able to manage and see a list of queued requests, but then also my side, I can manage those, and you can see where it is in the approval process. We also push our enablement documents here and videos, everything that we have that's available to our sales team, we push to the portal. And these are just some button filters where if you just want to see case studies, you can filter that down. And this gets updated regularly, so you have that here. And then also, where is our team? Where is our sales team? Where's our partner team? So if you come in here, you can see with a lovely sepia tone photo our entire sales team and how we segment those with contact information. So obviously you can work with a partner manager like myself, but we wanted to give partners access because we're hiring people all the time, and so it gets updated here as they come on board. Also, one thing to point out that's very, very exciting, down here in the drop down, you'll see other apps. So there's other things planned to grant access to coming up in the near future. One of those is our Skuid learning system built on Skuid. So as you ramp up and enable new resources to be in the Skuid practice, you can send them through self-paced learning projects and journeys within Skuid's learning system and look for that around mid-August. And so it'll be something that will show up in the portal in mid-August. So we're excited about that. And also you can contact me specifically if you're interested in beta testing the Skuid learning system. So yeah, so this is again, this is the Skuid Partner Portal built on Skuid for Skuid's partners. So this is one of the resources that you have access to as a partner. Alan mentioned the portal. Alan mentioned the demo hub. So want to make sure just a couple of just action items. If you don't have access to both of these, please contact me and let me know. My contact info will be on the last slide. But this is really meant to help make sure you're successful, so you know the different use cases that are good for Skuid, so that you have the demo hub, not just to learn and demo, but to use as accelerators to maybe expedite prototypes and POCs around communities and other use cases. So a couple of other things before we move into questions. So definitely let me know here. If you do have access to the portal, I would encourage you to use it. Check out the enablement content. Use the deal registration. If you do have a potential deal, we want to make sure we can count it for you and pay you a referral commission. So use the partner portal. That would be amazing. And then one thing I wanted to say is that if there's any questions about community use cases, you may have something and you're not necessarily sure if it's a good fit for Skuid or not, but you may have heard something here today that sounds like it's close. Reach out to me. We can connect you with the right team, with somebody like Alan or myself, and we can go deeper into the use case to vet it out to make sure it's a good fit and that Skuid's the right tool for that community. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions about community use cases and any other questions as well, whether it be communities, other use cases with a partner program, you can come straight to me for that. At this time, Alan, I know I've got a few questions that came in, so feel free to type questions in the chat. Everyone is on mute. So anyway, I won't ask you the question to increase your screen size because the font is small. So I missed that one, so apologies.
Sorry about that.
No, I was late on it. So one question from a partner was on some of these components and demos, it looks like some of them were out of the box, but maybe we've extended it with either CSS or JavaScript. So the question is, do partners have access to see that information as well? If we've used CSS to style something, can they see that in the demo org as well?
Yeah, so really, when we say we give our partners access to the demo org, you've got access to everything, and that's why I keep making the statement about please don't change things in there. You really get access as an admin. You can go into any of those pages in the demo org and get behind the scenes, take them apart, really see how they're put together, what's standard, if anything in there has been extended by a CSS, which yes, some of them have. You're able to see how that was done as well.
Excellent. Cool. Another question here. Somebody asked, is the current configuration and or components, are they mobile ready out of the box?
Yeah, so by default, everything in Skuid is pretty much mobile ready. There is also, when you get into the settings of the different components, as you're building a page, you have the ability for most of them to basically change the settings on what they do for mobile responsiveness. But by default, we're pretty mobile ready. Everything built in Skuid as of today, as of July 2018, still is browser based. And so even on a mobile device, you're using either the Salesforce One app or you're using a browser. But we've got a release coming out this fall that's going to let you actually build native mobile apps for both iOS and Android.
Excellent. Couple more here. This question says, can standard custom Lightning components be combined on the same page with Skuid components?
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, that one partner example I showed had some standard Lightning components on the front page alongside the Skuid components. So if there's stuff that's in Lightning that you're used to building with that you like, some of their standard components, they absolutely can be combined on the same page. You do that in the Lightning app builder. And drop the Skuid components next to them, and they'll all interact intelligently and the way they should.
Excellent. Looks like we got two more. This one's good, I think. So does Skuid auto-create the test classes that are required for at least 75% code coverage to deploy applications to production required by Salesforce? So essentially writing the test code.
What we generally recommend is that people do their sort of development and testing in like a sandbox. And one of the things that we provide when people sign up for a Skuid account is a second sandbox ready account. So go ahead and develop in your sandbox, do the testing there, and then you can use that XML copy we looked at today to just copy the final code into your live environment for deployment.
And I think follow-up question from myself. So in Skuid, we don't write test code when we're building out custom implementation. Is that right?
Yeah, not specifically test code. I wouldn't call it that, but yeah.
Got it. Okay. And then the last question here. Can you create custom objects, data tables within Skuid if there is no data source in Salesforce or any other system?
I'm not completely sure I understand the question, but so you can. I think they're asking if you can create a custom data object in Skuid. No, so Skuid does not have any data depository built in. We really are just that UI UX layer on top of your data. So if you say are running Salesforce and you need to have a custom data object, you would go and build that in Salesforce first, and then it would be available for use within Skuid.
Got it. Excellent. And we did have another partner chime in saying that deploying Skuid pages doesn't have to meet any Salesforce testing. So because you're not doing Apex, it doesn't require the test code. So you don't have to do that, which is essentially one of the value props of being able to move so much faster using Skuid is not having to do the test code for the person who asked that question.
Okay.
Excellent. That's all the questions that came in on the chat, Alan. So thanks for letting me pepper you with those one after the other. Perfect. Well, again, for everybody who attended, thank you so much for the time. Again, this will be recorded and published. We'll have a landing page on our site. We're also going to include some other helpful links for communities specifically on that site. So be looking for an email inviting you to that. But we hope this was helpful and that you took away some value in ways where Skuid can really help accelerate the use case for you around communities and portals. So thanks again. Thanks, Alan. And we hope you have a great rest of your week.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thanks.